Okay, so Samsung is relaunching the Galaxy S21 FE in the Indian market. As we know, the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE with Exynos 2100 SoC was launched in the Indian market last year in January, so that's like 1.5 years ago. But for some reason, Samsung has now planned to launch that phone again, but with one big change. And that change is in the chipset. Instead of the Exynos chipset, the S21 FE is launching with a Qualcomm chipset. But this does not mean that they are using the latest flagship SoC by Qualcomm. In fact, they are not even using the last year's flagship SoCs. The Galaxy S21 FE is relaunching with the Snapdragon 888 chipset in the Indian market. And just so that you know, the Snapdragon 888 was officially launched in the December of 2020 and it was powering most of the flagship phones in 2021. Also, Snapdragon 888 in the S21 FE is not something new because the global version of the S21 FE had the Snapdragon 888 only. So it means Samsung is just launching the global version of the S21 FE in India. But the question is, why? Why is Samsung relaunching the S21 FE in the Indian market when there are already leaks and rumors of the upcoming S23 FE? I think the reason is that while the S23 FE is reported to launch in the current quarter, it will be available in the market by the end of this year or maybe not until January next year. So there is definitely a gap in between that Samsung is now trying to fill with this relaunch of the S21 FE with a Qualcomm SoC. So is the chipset the only thing that is different from the already existing S21 FE in India? Well, as per some sources, the S21 FE with Snapdragon 888 is coming in a new navy blue color and 256GB storage for the base model, which is double than what the base variant of S21 FE with Exynos chipset has. And well, those are the only differences between the two phones. It means the Snapdragon version has the same display, the same battery size, same charging speed, and the same cameras. It is quite likely that the phone launches with Android 13 out of the box, which would be yet another difference since the Exynos version launched with Android 12 last year. The Exynos version has been promised 4 Android updates, so if the same happens with the Snapdragon version, then that would mean Android updates till the Android 17. So in terms of software updates, there should not be any complaints. One important thing to mention is that the Snapdragon 888 is known for its heating issues, and the biggest reason for that is the manufacturing process. This chipset is built on the Samsung's 5nm manufacturing process, and it should not come as a surprise that the Exynos 2100, which the S21 FE in the Indian market currently has, is also built on the same process. That is the reason why Exynos 2100 also has the heating issues. So even though the new S21 FE has a Qualcomm chipset, that does not mean it won't have the heating issues that the current S21 FE has. But then again, the list of issues is way shorter than the Exynos 2100. Finally, talking about the pricing, this may come as a surprise, but the phone is rumored to launch at 50,000 rupees in India. At this price, a phone with Snapdragon 888 SoC is definitely overpriced. I mean, this is a price around which you can even get a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 device, such as the iQOO 11. Or if you just want a Samsung phone, then there is the Galaxy S22 or even the S22 Plus, which have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. So the conclusion is, if the S21 FE with Snapdragon 888 launches at 50,000 rupees in India, then it would be better to not consider this phone at that price. As always, it will be better to wait for the sales and then get it at a price that justifies the specifications. Anyways, what are your thoughts on Samsung relaunching the S21 FE with a Qualcomm chipset? Do let me know via the comment section below, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.